Well, it's been a long time since I've been back here. My grandpa was probably the most influential person in getting me involved in hunting and the outdoors, and actually getting me involved in filming because he gave me a loan for my first camera. Some of my earliest memories hunting were just me and him sitting on fence lines. I had a 20 gauge shotgun that kicked like a mule and was probably taller than I was, but just the time that he invested in me and passing on that hunting heritage and that passion and that legacy is something that I'm forever grateful for. And it's been a while since I've been back here, but it is definitely worth taking the time to make this trip.
The essence of who we are and the realities in which we stand are evidence of things unseen. And the individual frames of our life that exist between the beginning and the end are influenced with purpose. They are the shadows of the substance. They are the moments that are leading us to hallowed ground.
Welcome to the farm. This is my grandparents' property, the place that I spend most of my time hunting in the fall. It is 250 acres of the closest thing to heaven on earth that I think a person can find. They say that home is where the heart is, and I don't know if it's because I've spent so much time here, but I grew up a quarter mile away and we live in town now. But you know, when I get here and when I think of home, this is a place that I'm thinking about. My grandpa invested his whole life into this property, and I mean, he could have made a lot more money farming it, but he kept it the way that God made it in CRP and just in natural woods. And you know, because of his efforts, I've got a place to hunt now. So I feel a lot of responsibility to just carry that on and manage it the way that he would want it managed, and really just carry on what he started. I shot my first deer right under this tree here. 12 years old, slug hunting. There are about a dozen deer running right from this direction. And I just waited, and it was doe, doe, doe. A buck came running through, I pulled up. I wish I could say I made a good shot on him, but regardless, that was my first buck. And that's really right here under this tree where the itch began. And a lot of good memories, but that is enough of this trip down memory lane because we got some trail cameras to hang and some work to get done. Being able to manage a property to me is one of the reasons why I love to whitetail hunt so much. I love the process, I love the year-round commitment that it takes to be successful, and to me, that's what makes walking up in the fall and wrapping your tag around a buck's antlers so rewarding. Whether it's shed hunting, food plots, checking trail cameras, every single piece of that puzzle is crucial to be successful, and it gives me a chance to get the rugrats involved, get out, get a little dirt beneath their nails, and just enjoy the process with them. What are we doing today?
Owner, futbolun ازاي بريان تشاتشي او كامبو.
And you got fruit snacks, it looks like. Excited? What's the matter?
Papa, my tongue.
You bit your tongue? It's time to get going.
Hallowed Ground Outdoors is brought to you by Dave Smith Decoys, the highest quality decoys on the market, made in the USA.
I demand the best. In a game of inches, when the smallest of imperfections can mean the difference between success and failure, I feel confident knowing that every QAD Ultra Rest has been designed, manufactured, and assembled right here on American soil. With unparalleled precision and uncompromised quality, the Ultra Rest is more than a piece of equipment. It's part of who we are. I shoot the Ultra Rest, America's Rest, only by Quality Archery Designs.
This episode brought to you by Bloodsport Archery, 100% carbon, hand-sorted premium arrows.
We put so much time, so much effort into our food plot. It can be one of the most rewarding things, it can be one of the most disappointing things. And every single year we struggle on this property with overbrowsing. But the past 2 years we've been using the hot zone deer exposure system, and for us it's just been a game changer. The hot zone deer exposure system is a dual perimeter fence that's designed to keep wildlife out and eliminate overbrowsing. It's a complete kit that's incredibly simple to set up. All you have to do is provide your own 12-volt battery and everything else is right there for you. The basic kit protects up to half an acre depending on your plot shape, but you can also get an expansion kit which is going to increase your protection area from 1.5 to 3.5 acres. And it's got an integrated solar charging panel which allows you to access remote areas and protect your food plots as long as there's sun available. If you spend all that time, all that money, and all that energy on putting in food plots, and then by the time fall rolls around, you're sitting up in the tree and there's absolutely nothing there to show for it, there's not going to be any deer. So the hot zone deer exposure system for us is just a wise way for us to protect our investment. By using this system, it allows us to maintain browsing control during those critical growth phases. Once our food plots reach maturity, once it's hunting season, when we want those deer to be back in our food plots, we take the fence down. From a management standpoint, from a hunting standpoint, I know that by using this product, I'm making sure that there's going to be food there when the deer need it, and there's going to be deer there when I'm ready to hunt. When we ran our trail camera survey this year, we realized pretty quick that we had a pretty unhealthy doe to buck ratio, and we needed to take some of those does out. But one of the issues with a property this size is when you start to try to get in there early and manage that doe to buck ratio, you're really running the risk of overpressuring the property and maybe hurting yourself later on by bumping some of those mature bucks out. So our plan was to play it safe, wait for the right wind directions, sneak into our stands, get it done, and get out.
John and I just got in the stand a bit too late. It's probably a little bit after 5 right now, but we're sitting over an evolved harvest food plot that we put in this spring. This is the tightest pinch on the farm that connects 2 big chunks of timber. In theory, it should be a phenomenal spot. It's probably the spot I'm most excited about this year, especially during the rut. We got an Icon trail camera below us. Every evening there's deer on it showing up in the food plot. So about 150 yards from my grandparents' farmhouse. Could hear some people talking, but deer are used to it, so it's gonna start getting good. We're gonna see if we can't whack a doe tonight.
We actually had this doe come in out of nowhere, walks straight at us, continues on, walks away, never even got a chance to draw the bow back, which was frustrating, but regardless, we were back to waiting.
taken a while to get the first doe of the season, but she's down. She's a nice big fat one, so we'll get her taken care of and the family will be eating well. All right. Well, cleaning the deer and left the door open the whole entire time, and the battery's dead, so another extremely annoying thing to have to deal with at 10:30 at night, but we'll get her out of here sooner or later.
Quiet Cat, a portable electric all-terrain vehicle of new stature, weighing a mere 100 pounds and producing 5 horsepower of torque and traveling 50 miles per charge. Quiet Cat is capable beyond its years. Hunt like a cat.
This is the Midwest, the heartland. A place where hard work has collided with innovation for decades. The spirit that's driven men and women forward for generations is the same spirit that drives us today. People ask from year to year if we're building a new bow, and we'd rather say we're building a bow that's better. We are Athens, and it's not about being the biggest, it's about building the best.
A mature buck can detect an imposter at 400 yards, so why take a chance with any old scent? Tink's Hot Shots eliminates problems found with ordinary aerosol bombs. Its bag and can system separates the scent from the propellant, so the scent is not diluted or contaminated with other chemicals. While aerosols may contain as little as 33% lure, Tink's Hot Shots spray 100% pure scent, 100% of the time. Tink's Hot Shot. Don't bomb your hunt.
This episode of Hallowed Ground Outdoors is brought to you by Quality Archery Designs. Focus on the shot. We'll take care of the rest. Tinks. Industry-leading lures and attractants. Non-typical wildlife solutions. Protect your plot with a hot zone deer exposure system. Night muzzleloaders. Power, style, safety, and accuracy. Hoyman's extendable premium tree saws. Evolved Harvest. Grow more groceries per acre. Lakewood Products. Extreme cases for the sportsman. Wild Game Innovations. Nutrition, attraction, action.
When I close my eyes, I can picture sitting in a tree, end of October, the crunching of leaves as the buck's approaching. I can feel the bow in my hand. I can envision the pins settling right behind that buck's shoulder. When November rolls around, my anticipation level, my excitement level is at an all-time high. At that point, I'm confident because I know that I've put in the work, I've put in my time, and it's just a matter of taking care of business. End of October, we actually unhooked our hot zone deer exposure systems, and it was crazy because it was like instantly does were pouring in, and there were like 3 nights in a row where we were seeing mature bucks on their feet well before we ran out of camera light. All of mature bucks were just sitting around waiting, scent checking those fields, trying to find that first doe. So we decided to slip into one of my favorite stands on the property in the morning and see if we couldn't catch one of those bucks.
It's cracked over to daylight. We've had 2 fawns come under our tree already, but a little bit warmer than usual. It's about in a pretty good spot. I'm gonna sit tight for a few hours here and see what might happen to wander by.
I don't know if those mature bucks are bedded down with the first does or locked down or whatever, but just nothing that you expect right now. But it's a Saturday, and that means that it's family time at the Sir household, so I promised my wife I'd just hunt this morning, and then got a whole list of honeydews that I've been putting off for...
Hey, right there, come, hey. Right off the path.
This segment is brought to you by The Sportsman's Guide, the largest supplier of brand-named hunting gear at closeout prices. Everything from boots and clothing to tree stands and accessories. The Sportsman's Guide. Lowest prices, best quality, guaranteed.
Right off the path.
I caught that movement out of the corner of my eye, and actually I just saw the doe. So when I pulled my binoculars up, I glassed about 20 yards behind her, and that's when I saw the buck. He was not gonna leave that doe, and there was a lot of distance between us and her, and there were a lot of different trails that she could take. It wasn't looking good. She was working left to right, and he was downwind of her about 15 yards, and that was gonna push him if she continued on that path right outside of bow range. All of a sudden, I see the doe stop. She starts quartering to us and starts walking right towards the stand. The buck's looking around, he sees her, and when he takes that first step towards our direction, I just knew that, that it was on.
Cold. That's the biggest or the second biggest deer on this property.
It's the same tree that I killed my buck out of last year. I killed my muzzleloader buck 2 years ago, like 70 yards from here. My first buck ever was about 45 yards right there. Very, very, very blessed to have hunting in my family, and something that my grandpa worked so hard, and now this land is still in the family, and what a slow morning. I can't even believe it. Like, seriously. Yeah. I thought you were the priest and start your fake coughing that you do every single morning when you're ready to go. And I was sitting here, I was like, we gotta leave now, because John's blowing the whole wood out.
Putting my hands on that deer was incredibly rewarding, but what made it even more special was knowing that I was piggybacking on the efforts of my grandpa, and I knew that that was something that would make him proud. We need to make it a point to pass on that hunting legacy. If it wasn't for my grandpa, I probably wouldn't be hunting today, and that's something that I want to pass on to my kids. Hunting is something that God has given us as a tool to manage what He's created, and it's also something that He's provided that we can enjoy with others. It is not about being identified as a hunter. It's not about being on TV. It's not about having big bucks hanging on your wall. I want my kids to look at me and look at my life and say, my dad was a godly man. My dad was a godly husband. My dad was a godly father. I am not gonna lie. I will enjoy looking at that buck on the wall. I will enjoy remembering and telling that story. But ultimately, I need to know that that is just an earthly treasure, and my focus has to be on leaving a legacy that has eternal value.
Well, this old truck takes me down this gravel road, and as the dust all settles, I find myself at home, past the county line to a promised land, and to an old oak tree and an old deer stand. It's a place where I've seen my Maker's face, and where I'm born again as sunrise by His amazing grace. Peace and a purpose I have found
Dude,
in this sanctuary, my house. I am standing on this hallowed ground, where I was born, and it's where the
We're going home. And we're gonna eat and then we're gonna go to bed.
yeah, it's getting pretty late, isn't it? Drake, that was our first time hunting together. Are we gonna do that a lot more? Hey, look at me. I love you, buddy. Let's get out of here, get home, and tell Mom.
Closed captioning is provided by the all-new Ameristep Crush Enforcer, featuring the patented Lightspeed single hub frame, making setup and takedown quick and easy. The all-new Ameristep Crush Enforcer.